Hello, children. Today, let us understand the lesson, The Summit Within, from the text Honeydew. The lesson is a story of experiences of Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia. Mount Everest is the highest of the Himalayan mountains, and it is considered the highest point on earth. In 1841, Sir George Everest, Surveyor General of India from 1830 to 1843, first recorded the location of Everest. And that is how Mount Everest got its name. It is named after the first Surveyor General of India. Before we start with the lesson, let me share some information about the people who climbed Everest. Do you know who was the first person to successfully climb Mount Everest? You guessed it right. Edmund Hillary of New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay, a Sherpa of Nepal, were the first explorers to reach the summit of Mount Everest in 1953. Do you know who was the youngest person to climb Everest? It was Jordan Romero, who at the age of 13 climbed to reach the top of Mount Everest. Now let me share some points about the author of this lesson. Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia was a member of the first successful Indian expedition to Mount Everest in 1965. He climbed Everest with his friends Rawat and Fodorji. He is the recipient of several awards like Padma Bhushan and Arjun Award. He has written several books like Higher Than Everest, Beyond the Himalayas, and Everest is Within You. Now let us begin with the lesson. This lesson, The Summit Within, is a story of experiences of Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia, a member of the first successful Indian expedition to Mount Everest. The author says that when he stood on the summit, many emotions moved through him. Out of all the emotions, the most dominant one was that of humility, a quality of being modest. He thanked God for his success. Climbing the summit has provided him a sense of joy that was going to last for a lifetime. While climbing down Everest, he asked himself why he climbed Everest and what made him do so. According to him, people take up such difficult tasks because man takes delight in overcoming obstacles. There are three qualities that played a major role in climbing. Endurance. It is the ability to endure a difficult process. Persistence, which means determination, and willpower, which means self-control. The author goes on to say that from childhood he has been attracted by the mountains. For him, mountains are nature at its best, and they are a means of communication with God. The mountains have a challenging beauty and majesty. Adventure is risky but pleasurable. On climbing its summit, one has the sense of victory and of happiness. The whole episode has brought about a spiritual change in his mind. It has provided him with physical, emotional, and spiritual experience. The author goes on to say that one becomes conscious of one's smallness in this large universe. Climbing mountains also gives us lessons of comradeship. The author gives us an example. While climbing, two persons have to share a rope. One climber holds the rope firmly, while the other climber cuts the steps in the hard ice. Then he belays, and the other climber inches his way up. Famous climbers have left records of the help given by others. A single man cannot simply think of being a climber. It's not only the physical difficulties which will discourage him. The difficulties are emotional too. In all those moments, the comrades draw inspiration from each other. The author mentions that climbers have left some symbols of reverence at the summit. Ahluwalia left on Everest a picture of Guru Nanak. Rawat left a picture of goddess Durga. Fudorji left a relic of Buddha. And Edmund Hillary had buried a cross. So the experience of being on Everest changes a man completely. The author ends the lesson by telling the readers that each man has within himself his own mountain peak. It is in our mind. It teaches us much more about ourselves. The internal summits are much higher than Everest. It is fearful and unscalable. Nobody else can climb your summit. You have to do it by yourself. The internal summit is perhaps higher than Everest. We have to develop the ability to understand the difficult situations in our life and learn how to cope with the problems of life. We have to learn to face life's ordeals with determination. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe and comment for suggestions.